a voice that whispers, not with fear, but with authority. Do not look for a job. Look for your purpose. You were not created to beg opportunity from the world. You were designed to create opportunity. There is a power within you, placed there by the Creator Himself, that does not respond to doubt, hesitation, or fear. It responds only to faith, clarity, and bold action. The average person searches for security, but those who rise above the average, they search for significance. When you chase a job, you limit yourself to what already exists. But when you chase purpose, you step into the realm of infinite possibility. Understand this clearly. Wealth does not come from working harder for someone else's vision. It comes from aligning yourself with a vision so powerful that it pulls resources, people, and opportunities toward you. The Creator did not design you to live in scarcity. He designed you to think, to imagine, to build, and to manifest abundance. But here is the secret most will never accept. Faith without action is powerless. You must take initiative. You must discipline your mind. You must surround yourself with people who think beyond limitations, because success is never accidental. It is the result of a definite purpose combined with persistent effort. Do not misunderstand the message. This is not about rejecting work. This is about rejecting small thinking. Work, yes, but work on something that expands you. Earn, yes, but earn through value that multiplies. When you shift your focus from finding a job to becoming valuable, everything changes. Doors open where there were none. Ideas come alive. Confidence replaces fear. And suddenly, you are no longer asking the world for permission to succeed. The world begins to respond to your command. So when you hear that voice again, the one that says, "Do not look for a job," do not ignore it. That is not rebellion. That is alignment. Alignment with a life that is greater than survival. Alignment with a calling that demands courage. Alignment with the truth that you were born not just to make a living, but to make a difference. Now, the question is not whether opportunity exists. The question is, will you rise high enough to create it? Divine purpose begins where survival thinking ends. Most people are conditioned from an early age to believe that life is about security, earning just enough to stay comfortable, avoiding risks, and following predictable paths. But this mindset quietly limits human potential. You were not placed here simply to repeat routines and collect paychecks. You were given the ability to think, imagine, and create. That ability points to something far greater than survival. It points to purpose. Survival thinking keeps your focus on immediate needs, bills, stability, and approval from others. While these things matter, they can easily become a trap if they dominate your thinking. When your decisions are driven only by fear of loss, you begin to shrink your vision. Divine purpose, on the other hand, expands your perspective. It asks a different question, not how will I get by, but what am I truly meant to build, contribute, and become? There is a quiet signal within you, an inner calling that doesn't shout but persists. It shows up in your interests, your curiosity, and the work that excites you even when no one is watching. This calling is not accidental. It is a clue toward your higher purpose. When you ignore it, life feels heavy and repetitive. But when you start listening to it, even small steps begin to feel meaningful and energized. Aligning with purpose requires a shift in identity. You move from being a passive participant in life to an active creator. Instead of asking for opportunities, you begin to prepare yourself to recognize and create them. This means developing skills, sharpening your thinking, and building discipline. It also means accepting uncertainty, because purpose-driven paths are rarely clear at the beginning, but they become clearer with action. Faith plays a critical role in this transformation. Not blind faith, but a confident belief that your efforts towards something meaningful will lead somewhere worthwhile. Without this belief, most people fall back into survival mode the moment things get difficult. But those who stay committed to purpose understand that setbacks are part of growth. They don't interpret challenges as signs to quit, but as signals to adapt and continue. Ultimately, living with divine purpose is not about rejecting income or stability. It's about redefining them. When you operate from purpose, your work gains depth, your efforts multiply in value, and opportunities begin to align with who you are becoming. Instead of chasing a paycheck, you start building something that has impact. And in doing so, you move beyond simply making a living. You begin creating a life that truly matters. Faith is a force that begins where certainty ends. It is not the absence of logic, but the courage to move forward when results are not yet visible. Most people wait for guarantees before they act, but guarantees rarely come in advance. When you choose faith, you are deciding to trust your direction even when the path is still unfolding. Fear, on the other hand, thrives on uncertainty. It magnifies risk, exaggerates failure, and convinces you to stay where you are. It speaks in the language of hesitation. What if it doesn't work? What if you lose? Left unchecked, fear turns potential into inaction. It keeps you busy planning, but prevents you from ever beginning. The difference between faith and fear is not the situation, it is the interpretation. Two people can face the same opportunity. One sees possibility, the other sees danger. The one who acts with faith focuses on what can be built, learned, and gained. The one who acts with fear focuses on what might go wrong. Over time, these perspectives shape entirely different lives. Desperation is often mistaken for motivation, but it carries a very different energy. When you act out of desperation, your decisions become rushed and reactive. You lower your standards, chase quick results, and attach your worth to immediate outcomes. This mindset blocks clarity and weakens judgment, making it harder to recognize real opportunities when they appear. Belief, in contrast, creates stability. When you act with belief, your decisions are grounded in vision rather than pressure. You are willing to be patient, to prepare, and to persist. You are not easily shaken by temporary setbacks because your focus is on long-term growth. This calm confidence allows you to think clearly and act strategically. Opportunities often respond to this state of belief. They rarely appear fully formed. Instead, they reveal themselves step by step as you move forward. One action leads to a connection. That connection leads to an idea, and that idea leads to a breakthrough. If you wait for everything to be certain before you begin, you interrupt this chain before it ever starts. This does not mean ignoring reality or taking reckless risks. Faith is not blind, it is directed. It works best when combined with preparation, discipline, and awareness. You strengthen your position by learning, improving your skills, and observing the environment around you. Then, when the moment comes, you act, not because you are desperate, but because you are ready. In the end, trusting that opportunities will flow is not about hoping for luck. It is about becoming the kind of person who recognizes and attracts them. When belief replaces desperation, your actions become more deliberate, your mindset becomes more resilient, and your path begins to open in ways that fear alone could never create. Value creation begins with a simple shift in perspective. Instead of asking, "Who will hire me?" you begin asking, "What problem can I solve?" This shift moves you from dependency to ownership. Job seeking places your future in someone else's hands, while value creation places responsibility and opportunity firmly in your own. Most people are trained to present themselves as applicants, listing qualifications and waiting for approval. But the marketplace does not reward titles alone. It rewards usefulness. When you focus on becoming genuinely useful, your relevance increases. Skills become more than credentials. They become tools for solving real-world challenges. Skills are the foundation of value. Not just any skills, but those that are rare, practical, and adaptable. The more you refine your abilities, communication, problem solving, creativity, technical expertise, the more leverage you gain. These skills allow you to contribute in ways that are difficult to replace, which naturally increases your worth. Ideas amplify those skills. A single well-executed idea can multiply effort and create opportunities far beyond what routine work can offer. But ideas only gain power when they are acted upon. Thinking alone is not enough. Execution is what transforms imagination into tangible value that others can benefit from. Solutions are where value becomes visible. People and businesses are constantly seeking answers to save time, reduce costs, increase efficiency, or improve quality. When you position yourself as someone who can provide these answers, you stop competing for limited positions and start attracting demand. Wealth tends to follow those who consistently solve meaningful problems. This is because money is often an exchange of value. The greater the problem you solve, or the more effectively you solve it, the greater the reward tends to be. This principle shifts your focus from earning to contributing. Chasing employment can sometimes limit your thinking to predefined roles. You begin to fit yourself into existing structures rather than expanding beyond them. Value creation, however, encourages innovation. It allows you to design new paths, combine different skills, and create opportunities that did not previously exist. There is also a difference in mindset. Job seeking often comes with urgency and competition, many individuals pursuing the same position. Value creation operates from differentiation. Instead of asking how to compete, you ask how to stand apart. This reduces dependence on external validation and increases self-direction. Consistency plays a critical role. Building value is not a one-time effort. It is a continuous process of learning, applying, and improving. Each step adds to your capability, and over time, this accumulation creates momentum. What once required effort begins to produce results more naturally. Collaboration can accelerate this process. When you connect with others who bring complementary skills and perspectives, your ability to create value expands. Shared ideas often lead to stronger solutions, and collective effort can achieve outcomes that individual work cannot. It is important to understand that value creation does not eliminate the need for income. It transforms the way it is earned. Whether through business, freelancing, or even employment, your focus shifts from simply performing tasks to making meaningful contributions that are recognized and rewarded. Ultimately, when you prioritize building skills, ideas, and solutions, you move beyond the cycle of searching and waiting. You become proactive rather than reactive. And in doing so, you place yourself in a position where opportunities are no longer something you chase. They are something you attract through the value you consistently create. Success rarely happens in isolation. While individual effort matters, the greatest achievements are often the result of coordinated thinking and shared vision. The concept of a mastermind begins with the understanding that when two or more people align their minds toward a definite purpose, their combined intelligence creates something greater than the sum of its parts. A mastermind is not just a group, it is a deliberate alliance. It is built on trust, clarity, and mutual growth. Each person brings unique knowledge, perspective, and experience. When these elements are harmonized, they produce ideas and strategies that no single individual could have developed alone. However, collaboration without direction can lead to confusion. That is where initiative comes in. Initiative is the force that turns discussion into action. It is the decision to step forward, to lead when necessary, and to execute without waiting for perfect conditions. Without initiative, even the most powerful group remains stagnant. Many people hesitate to take initiative because they fear failure or judgment. They wait for permission, for validation, or for the right time. But success favors those who act decisively. Taking initiative does not mean having all the answers. It means being willing to move despite uncertainty. When initiative is combined with a strong mastermind, progress accelerates. Ideas are tested, refined, and improved through collaboration, while action ensures they are brought to life. This balance between thinking and doing is what transforms potential into measurable results. Choosing the right people is critical. Not everyone is suited for a mastermind environment. You must seek individuals who are committed, disciplined, and growth-oriented. People who challenge your thinking, not just agree with it. This kind of environment pushes you beyond comfort and into development. At the same time, you must also bring value to the group. A mastermind is not about taking, it is about contributing. Your insights, your effort, and your reliability determine the strength of the alliance. When each member contributes fully, the group becomes a powerful force. Creating your own path requires independence of thought. While collaboration provides support and perspective, you must still make decisions aligned with your vision. Blindly following others, even within a group, limits your potential. True success comes from integrating guidance with personal conviction. Initiative also requires discipline. Starting is important, but continuing is what separates intention from achievement. There will be moments when motivation fades or obstacles appear. In those moments, discipline sustains progress and keeps you moving forward. Another key aspect is adaptability. As you take action and collaborate, new information will emerge. Plans may need to change. Being rigid can slow progress, while flexibility allows you to adjust and improve. A strong mastermind embraces this evolution rather than resisting it. Communication plays a central role in both initiative and collaboration. Clear, honest, and consistent communication ensures that ideas are understood and efforts are aligned. Miscommunication, on the other hand, can weaken even the strongest teams. Accountability strengthens the process. When you surround yourself with people who expect results, you are more likely to follow through. A mastermind creates a system where goals are not just set, they are tracked, discussed, and achieved. It is also important to recognize that creating your own path often means stepping away from conventional expectations. Not everyone will understand your direction, and not every decision will be popular. Initiative requires the courage to move forward even when approval is uncertain. Over time, the combination of initiative and collaboration builds momentum. Small actions lead to small results, but consistent effort compounds. With the support of a mastermind, these results grow faster and more sustainably. Leadership naturally emerges in this environment, not necessarily through titles, but through action. Those who consistently take initiative, contribute value, and support others become influential within the group. Their behavior sets the standard for everyone involved. Ultimately, success comes to those who refuse to remain passive. By taking initiative, aligning with the right people, and committing to a clear purpose, you move beyond waiting for opportunity. You begin to shape it. And in doing so, you create a path that is not only your own, but one that others may one day choose to follow.